Ah,
icon.
Look, we're live, and this is really exciting. And we have a new host, Elaine, who is a busted can of biscuits. That's right. Have I got that right?
You got it right. You got it right this time.
So we've got two great stars of reality TV. We've got Paddy, who is the winner of the Circle. From my year of the Circle, and we've got Elaine, who you almost won. I think you almost won.
No, I was fan favorite.
You see, so I was fan favorite as well. So we're fan. So we got two fan favorites and one genuine winner.
Fan favorite's better. At least people liked you. You know.
Oh, wow. Paddy,
people loved you.
Paddy, look, I've been running around the place saying how shocked I was that you received sort of hate mail, really, and nasty messages. I was really shocked about that.
I suppose it's kind of putting yourself out there, so you get used to allowing people to judge you, but it's hard when you go in as yourself and you're judged as yourself. You know?
Absolutely.
When you're a catfish and you're judged because you're a catfish, it's different because you're playing someone else. You know, when you're judged as yourself. But I got a lot of love as well. I was very polarizing. You either loved me or hated me. Kind of like Marmite.
I do have a question though. I didn't get to watch the full season because I'm here in the US, so I was having a little trouble watching UK, whatever. And so I did watch the episode when you first came in. I did get to see that one because I wanted to kind of see a little bit about you. Yeah. And you told Tim basically to F off Tim.
Yeah.
And so I just want to know, are you and Tim cool now? Because when I watched it was like, I hate Tim.
So what happened was, right? So if you go on from there, I actually went on and said I judged him too quickly and too harshly, and I didn't. See, the thing about it is, I didn't think Tim was real. Right. I thought Tim was a catfish. And in Ireland, when you say F off like that, it's kind of just like,
no, I know.
Go away.
Why did you, Paddy? I haven't seen the show.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you said this, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Should we stop the podcast now?
I just wanted to know if you guys were, if your impression had changed. Because like I said,
the second episode, I was like, I judged him too harshly because I thought Tim was a catfish because the way Tim talks to you, as you'd know, Elaine, it's quite like he's talking like a dictionary. And I was like, there's no way that he could be real.
I don't understand half the stuff he says. I just nod. I'm like,
I'm so happy he is real. I mean, he is one of a kind. And after, like, I talked to him a few times. Remember we had that talk about you from Ireland. You wanted to visit Ireland, and you said you were adopted. After that conversation, you know what? I was like, actually, I think I judged him too quickly off the picture, and this is what this show's about. Right. And from then on, we kind of, and I've even said I didn't think we would get on, but we actually grew in friendship.
Absolutely.
And he saved me a lot of times. So I'm very grateful you did.
Well, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, but we're gonna have beef after this, Elaine. Thank you.
I have to tell you something extraordinary. I didn't. First of all, during the show, I had no idea that there was any strategy going on, or what do you call it, alignment or something?
Alliances,
yes. And the voice of God. We all had our producer was saying to me, "Do you think anybody's having an alliance?" And I thought, yes, it's called the Circle. We all have an alliance. We have the alliance of the Circle, and I couldn't get beyond this point. So when in the roundtable meeting at the end, you revealed. I think you were the person who revealed the Circle of Trust. I have great difficulties with things I don't really take fully on board. So for about a year, I called it the Triangle of Terror, or the Triangle of Doom, and now I think my triangle has been stolen.
I know. Did you see that? No, it's
has been appropriated by production, because there's no way they wouldn't have heard of me talking about the Triangle of Doom, the Triangle of Terror.
Obviously, I wouldn't call it the Circle of Trust. It's probably more the Circle of Distrust, if we're going to be completely honest. I mean, because we were doing some distrusting things to try guess ahead of the game. But
go on. I don't agree with you in fact, Paddy. because you were forming your own circle, and that was the principle of the circle. You were forming your own friendship group, which was very strong. In fact, in many ways, it was stronger than the circle that we had originally. It was a bond. So I thought the circle was all about friendship, and you were demonstrating that. It took me a little while to get round to that point of view, but I think you were. Well, you were setting the circle in stone.
He done something right. He won the damn thing. That's so.
Yeah.
I suppose when you're in there, and you'd know this, Tim, like your sense of like perception and reality kind of goes out the window because everything is so heightened, and you're so kind of put into a moment of like strategizing. And because I was never an influencer and like always came in late and always in the middle, I kind of felt like I needed to make alliances just to stay in the game. I was hanging on by my fingertips every single blocking.
Right.
And I see now, I don't know if you've watched the Celebrity one at all, Tim or Elaine.
Oh, I watched it minute by minute. So
basically, like now they're more strategizing. Do you notice that it's much more of a strategy game, and they've really marketed it like a strategy game rather than like a kind of Big Brother-esque type of game.
The one thing I had said to Tim is that I think the greatest element of the celebrity version of it is the fact of the risk of them knowing each other.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them work in TV and stuff, and in the past they have worked together. Like Denise was saying, she had worked with, I think, Peter or Gemma or something.
Peter like Andre.
Yeah. Like 20 years before. And it's like, if you're pretending to be somebody, you don't know those details. So I think it added like another layer to the game itself, which I thought was interesting. I actually enjoyed it.
Denise is such a good power player, calling people out left, right, and center in group chat.
She don't care, bro.
I'm like, wow.
She does not care. What I've seen so far, I actually dig her because I like real people. And she calls it like she sees it, and she goes off her gut, and that's kind of how I do. So I'm feeling Denise myself.
Yeah, so am I.
Is there anyone you're disappointed with, Paddy?
Anyone I'm disappointed with in the celebrity circle?
Yeah. Or who you had great hopes for at the beginning and you're not so sure about now?
I don't know about Lady LaShore. Sometimes
she came in very strongly.
Yeah, and now
and then she's gone off, and she's gone off on one as well now. Yeah. And I think she's stabbed herself in the foot
by sticking to her guns
too early. Like, do you mean?
You shouldn't. She was wrong to stick to her guns about trying to get out. Who was she trying to get out? She was. And for no reason. I couldn't. I have to ask you, Paddy. You've seen them all, haven't you? Because you're being very professional about it, and you're recording every night.
I know.
But
it's such a commitment.
I can't work out why she took against Saffron.
That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, I don't know.
Is this something we didn't see?
I think it's because she's popular, and she's afraid that in the long run it's going to hurt her if she doesn't get rid of her now.
I think it's that Saffron was the one to really push to get rid of Duncan. And when Lady LaShore saw that Duncan was real, she was annoyed and thought that Saffron may be fake then.
Yeah, you're right.
So one of my I'm disappointed at the moment with Bag of Chips.
Because I think he's hilarious.
Well, so do I.
He's not getting enough screen time.
I think that may be it, because at the beginning he was just sort of so in your face and so spectacular, and now he's sort of almost been relegated to a corner. And I was thinking, well, why are we not seeing you? And when we do see him, he's sort of dressed down. Now I know it's very hot in there.
Yeah.
But I think you have to make an effort.
That black wig was something out of. He looked like out of Shrek, Lord Farquaad or something. You know that one.
Wasn't he wonderful? I loved his entrance.
Dude. Listen, I had said already that I don't understand half the stuff you guys say. The accent for me, sometimes the words are like what. And whenever somebody had thrown his name out there when they were doing the live vote kind of thing. And he screamed at the screen. I lost it. He yelled twat. I was like, what? Yeah, that dude cracks me up.
Have you picked up the accent he does every time he speaks as his character? as this wonderful lady Kim, who made a television program about cleaning.
Yeah, and that's the only person I know. Like, I don't know.
Oh, really? You know, she's one of the few people I know. I know of her. I know of the Loose Women people, and I sort of know a bag of chips. And because I met him twice. He was at the National Television Awards, wasn't he?
Oh my God, you met him?
I met him then, but I also met him.
Oh,
I met him a few days.
Jealous.
I met him a month or so earlier when we during the election night.
Yeah.
And he was there or sitting next to me or something. I can't remember exactly. Oh, we didn't do much more than exchange a few words, and I was terribly in awe. You know,
I would be too. Like, he is a huge character. I love people like that.
I mean, he's not as tall in the heels as the Vivian, who I also met, but and she was just sort of ginormous.
I love the Vivian, I have to say, as well.
Isn't she gorgeous? I mean, you know, I just love the I think the American version of RuPaul has the edge because it's that little bit more glitzy.
Well, it has more money. It has more money to go behind it. You know
we want money. We just want money. This
we just want money. We just want, like, you know, like you get a $5,000 cash prize for winning the small challenges. We get a Rue Peter badge.
I don't even know what that means, but it doesn't sound good.
And we make all our costumes out of old bags, you know, sort of waste paper bin bags. Yeah.
See, this is the inside detail I need. I'm gonna start writing this stuff down.
I've done an entire theatre show with sort of bits of rubbish, you know, just sewing them all together. Absolutely, yeah. I've done. One of the reasons I think I managed to keep directing and designing for so long was because I took my costumes from one show to the next, and so by the end I had, you know, stacks of costumes. But I could run up a dress in 20 minutes or so.
You should start your own RuPaul drag show there, Tim.
Oh my God! Yeah,
that would be amazing.
I did actually play. Now this is something you wouldn't know, Elaine, but I was asked to do pantomime in one of the last schools I taught at. And I thought, well, no, I can't do. Well, this is a ridiculous form of Christmas entertainment, which is not pantomime at all. It's where you talk directly to the audience, and you take a sort of loose fairy tale, and you spin complete craziness on it, and men play the part of women, and women play the part of men.
Very flamboyant, really
flamboyant. And there's one stock character called the Dame, who is generally somebody's mother, and it's played by a man, and it's not played as particularly feminine. It's played really as a man in a dress. and so I made my dress, and I did it for this school of children who I was teaching, and I had the entire school there, so it'd be 800 or 900 children.
I think you'd be great in the pantomime.
And they roared, and I didn't remove my beard, and I got away with it, and I
would love to watch that. That sounds like something I would dig. I would love to watch that.
Yeah, and that was the first time I'd been on stage for about 20 years.
Wow.
And I thought, and it was a result of that when I was asked to do the circle, I thought I could possibly do this, because the last time I was on stage, I was on I was in a production of Bent, and I played the funny bit. I played the evil uncle at the beginning, and we had this incredibly steep rake, and during a matinee, the stage manager washed the stage and didn't put all the Coca-Cola down, which was necessary. This is the problem. It was necessary to a shoes stick. So as I came on, I was the first person to come on from the back of the stage. So nice theatrical diagonal down to the front of the stage, and I think there was a tree that flew down in the middle of the stage, and so I started to slip. And I do remember trying to grab for the tree as I went past the middle.
Oh no!
And I managed to hold on to the preceding arch, and I then had a sort of flood of stage fright for the rest of the of the time, because I thought, you know, my life is flashing before me. At least there's the orchestra pit, and I'm about to go into it, or I'm going to land on that rather charming lady in the front row.
You could have been a meme. You could have been a meme.
And now I think actually, yeah, I could do it again. But Kim anyway. Kim is this icon of domesticity.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that that Bag of Chips has to break out into an imitation, almost a perfect imitation, I think, of
Can I
Kim.
ask you though? Don't you think the picture they're using is weird in terms of like it's black and white and it's not how you would see Kim Woodburn.
Paddy, you've seen enough of of our season to know what I thought of Jay and Kim. The moment I saw a black and white photograph, I thought, fake. It screamed almost. It screamed almost louder to me than the picture of mother and child. I knew James was a fake. I knew he was a phony.
I do have to say that's one thing I noticed is, Tim, like you went off on people's pictures and your like gut instinct was right a lot of the times. So that was pretty impressive.
He basically produced the show.
Yeah.
Every twist and turn they did, except for the Circle of Trust. Everything else,
Tim was
were on the ball.
But the point was, and this is the difference between then and now. I wouldn't be part of this show. I can tell you. Absolutely, it wouldn't interest me. But I was sold the show as being this is a social experiment about friendship, and I thought, yeah, that's my sort of thing.
Yeah,
and so everything else, catfishing and the games, to me were all secondary and obvious. The catfishing was so obvious from the beginning, and I just thought, oh, fine, okay, it's catfish, but we can still have a relationship. And I had a very strong relationship with James Sammy.
Yeah, you did. Really strong.
You know, I adored him. He had many chances, I think, really, to block me, and he didn't, and I didn't block him.
Absolutely, we were never going to block you ever.
Yeah.
You know, but it was more the fact that like you were literally at the top every week, Tim. I mean, give someone else a chance.
I don't understand how that happened. But
every week you were just top. I'm like, come on.
It's like get this
you
guy
don't
out
know
so I can
you
win.
don't know how horrible it was doing the blocking. I would have to come back to the apartment and lie on the floor.
It is kind of a poison chalice, you know. It is kind of a poison chalice, like
nightmare.
There was one. Yeah, that was probably my biggest problem on Survivor is trying to vote out my friends.
Yeah.
Yes, you see.
It broke my heart when I had to do something I really didn't want to do. It really broke my heart. I felt it. So I know how you feel, Tim.
I think the Circle has now become a domestic version of Survivor.
Do you think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, y'all eat a ton
Survivor's
on
the
there.
best. Yeah.
You guys eat a ton on there. That's all you guys do is eat. On Survivor, we're starving.
Yeah, okay, fair. That's unfair. I mean, Survivor, you're definitely going. It's more strenuous on your physical and mental health.
Body. Yeah, it is.
We're just very mental.
I lost weight on the Circle.
Did you?
Yeah, significantly.
Don't you only eat steak? Don't you only eat steak?
Yeah, but I think since the Circle, I must have been eating other things too, and I don't know how this has happened. I've had these moments of stress and depression, and of course the biscuit can just sort of disappear. It is all your fault, Elaine. And of biscuits. That's it.
You said a bag of biscuits. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. I thought bag of.
Just for Paddy, I don't know if you know or not, but on the show, on Survivor, I actually referenced myself. I described myself as a busted can of biscuits. You know, I'm a little thick. You hit it on the counter, it pops open. That's this old gut right here. So that kind of went viral, and everybody just called me busted can of biscuits ever since. And Tim messes it up every time and talks about a bag of biscuits.
I can't get it right. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so it's just something that's just I joke around about stuff. You know, I know I'm a little heavy, and it's like I'm okay with that because I'm okay with me. And poking fun and making jokes, like that's my way of coping with things.
Yeah, so it's like self-deprecation humor.
Yeah.
I do the same. Yeah, I do the same with my disability. I do the same. It's a coping thing.
Exactly, and that's
it's like if you put it out first, then no one else can do it.
Yeah, if you think about it, actually, for me personally, it comes from when I was younger. The fastest way for me to make friends and have them not make fun of me was to be the jokester and cut up and laugh and joke. And like you said, poke fun at myself, and it makes it easier. And so it's something I've just carried into my 40s.
Yeah.
I ain't never let that one go because it's helped.
I think
me
it's
out a lot.
just a coping mechanism, especially when you're growing up. I'd be the same as a kid with a disability, that I would poke fun at it rather than let other people do it. And I think it's a part of our makeup now. It's how we put ourselves out into the world, how we want to be perceived as like we don't care. Kind of like, joking around.
It doesn't mean that I don't love me. Because listen, I'm my favorite person. I don't know,
Oh, like, God. If you don't love yourself, honey,
exactly.
How the hell you go?
Exactly. That's how I feel about it. So it's like I love me more than I love anybody else in the world. And so it's okay. You know what I mean? I'm all right with it. And I think it helps. It helps. Like you said, you had gotten a lot of hate. It helps when you get that hate because if you're okay in here and your center is good and you're fine, then it helps you up here. When people are attacking and saying things to you. So I think Zach had said something about me and Tim being an odd pair. But what I think is great is like if you're the same in here, it doesn't matter what you are out here. You're gonna click. You know what I mean? You're gonna click. So it's like everybody that we've got lined up, I feel like I have some kind of connection to, and you're no different. I felt like, we part of the community, you my peoples, you know what I'm saying? So I'm here with you.
Am I allowed to come back to Bag of Chips and Kim?
Oh yeah, we get signed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, as part of my concern about her is her vulnerability, and I feel she's looking uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like she's kind of hasn't found her stride yet, and she's getting frustrated.
Yeah, well, she's got to hurry up, otherwise she'll be out of there.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that has started to build really good bonds and kind of form really good alliances, and like you said, like she's kind of just on the outside of that.
Yeah, I have a theory about this because. Although one of the characters who have just gone and sort of scotches my theory because I had it written down on a bit of paper. I thought, yeah, this is a clever theory. And then Gemma gets thrown out, so that ditches that one.
Oh yeah.
But
I loved the loose women, I have to say. They were unreal.
Were they wonderful, weren't they? Wonderful. I adore them. I adore them.
I had Kay on the podcast. I had Kay on the podcast actually.
Kay is the Scottish one. This is right. Yeah.
What is it that they do? Because I like I said, I don't know any of the celebrities because I don't get to watch
the shade, Elaine. The shade.
I don't get to watch it. So it's like who like are they? It said they're TV presenters. What's that mean over there?
So they're on a panel show called Loose Women, where essentially they talk about like everyday stuff. That we would be going through in our lives.
Version of the talk, kind of like our version of the talk.
Exactly like that. Yeah.
Well, I would love to watch UK TV. It's just I can't. It won't let me. I've tried to get on Channel 4. It's booted me off.
Oh my goodness! Really?
Yeah, like you got to have an IP that's from over there.
It's annoying. Annoying.
It's the same thing when I try to watch Australian Survivor. It just doesn't want me to do it, and it's like you should make this global. Let's make. It global.
Well,
absolutely.
Other circle programs are on Netflix and so much more available.
Yeah. Imagine if Argo's on Netflix, Tim. Imagine if Argo's on Netflix.
Why isn't it on there?
I don't expect it will somehow.
I think it's to do with contracting and stuff.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Let's talk about that. I don't understand why you wouldn't want more viewers.
Because I think essentially... Sorry, Tim, you go ahead.
No, please, Paddy. I think you're probably onto this one better than me.
I think essentially what it means is the circle in the US and Brazil and stuff are actually done by Netflix. So probably Channel 4 sold it to them. And Channel 4 wants to keep the UK one because that's the original one. So I'd say it's a kind of conflict. Because
I thoroughly enjoy watching UK TV because your accents are great. I love them.
I know. I don't know.
I can't understand half the stuff, but I enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like I said, when Bag of Chips yelled the word twat, I lost it. I thought it was hilarious. I was like, yo, this guy is another level. But I would have loved to watch it on a regular basis. And so I'm actually having to jump through hoops to be able to just watch the few episodes that I've watched. But it's
what do you think of Pete and Sam? I love them. Pete and Sam pretending to be
Peter
the two lads.
Depending who Rachel. who's
Rachel.
this math. She's this maths genius on another TV program.
Yeah.
And I think
that's
really
what I was
not.
going to say. When they were given the math to add up, I thought, oh no, here's your test. Here's the.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would have been a tell-all right there if they didn't get it right?
Yeah.
So,
but also, what's good about picking Rachel Riley is that she is famous, but no one really knows what she's like. So there's no kind of,
and she's only been there for a short period of time, so it's been a meteoric rise. And and
so you can kind of play her personality to how you would like it.
So, Paddy, I have to ask you: do you think Pete and Sam are better than Ricky and is it Melvin?
Melvin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all the other way around. You can go. You can go either direction, Paddy. You have choice.
I think Pete and Sam are doing an amazing job.
Yeah,
and I really enjoy them together, and I can really see how they're like playing the game, which I really enjoy. I'm like, hook it to my veins, play the game. Yes.
Yeah,
would you take away the golf club, or would you let him keep it?
Oh. Well, the golf club hurt his nether regions in the last episode. So
it did indeed. Yeah, absolutely.
He couldn't even celebrate. He just fell on the couch.
He is. He's like, playing that golf club for all it's worth.
And as a man, Tim, when you see it happen to someone else, you're like, oh,
yeah,
I know.
You feel it yourself. Like, no, can't.
I think they're doing great, though. They really are
unbelievable,
playing really well.
I mean, if I had, there's a bit of me which can't quite work out where we're going. But if I had any choice, I think I would put a certain amount of money on them to win.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think they have
as well. I like the fact that there's two people in there. I think having two people, you can kind of balance each other out.
I think it makes so much paranoia. Yeah, it makes it so much easier. And this is where I think Bag of Chips is in danger, because he's got he's isolated, and he's a person who needs an audience. And
because there is some people like that. Yeah. Who bounce off people,
And he's not bouncing off anything. And you must have felt it, Paddy, when you were in there. But there's I certainly felt it quite early on. You realise you've got two audiences at least, and you've got to play two games, possibly three. You've got to play the game through the television to the other competitors. You've got to play yourself on your own, and you've got to play to the audience out there that you cannot see, and so you've got three things, and I don't think so. So wherever anybody went wrong, and I think people definitely went wrong in our series. Yeah. James concentrated too much on the game and wasn't thinking about the audience, for example. That's why he didn't win, because he was a surefire certainty to win. He stopped playing. He stopped playing to the audience, and he also stopped playing the game in some ways. Once I think he got his alliance with you, he gave up on the game because he sort of trusted that. Therefore, he stopped talking about Charlie, and I thought you've got to talk about Charlie. Charlie, if you don't talk about Charlie, you're going to get thrown out. James, come on, talk about Charlie. And I think he thought. I think he thought that was a threat.
I say what happened there is sometimes, as we all know ourselves, in those kind of highly you're so everything's so heightened, all your emotions, and maybe he just got a bit tired near the end. I'm just kind of
everything. He got comfortable.
Yeah,
because when you get comfortable, you let your guard down.
And
that could be like a lack of gameplay after that.
Yeah,
because that happens a lot to people in Survivor. They get super comfortable in the alliance that they're in, and so they kind of breathe. And when they breathe, they got somebody over here that's scurrying, making moves, and the next thing you know, their ass is out. So it's like I think he got comfortable.
You have to settle into a sort of television persona, which is like a sort of heightened version of you. You did it, Paddy. And by the way, I could feel that in my apartment.
Could you?
I could feel that. Yeah, it was shortly.
Could. Nothing gets past this lad.
I know, right? I'm starting to think he's psychic. Really,
I'm not remotely psychic. I'm just very much aware
Observant.
No, I'm not remotely observant either. I'm aware there's a big difference between what you say and the sort of mood you project. And And you sort of pick it up with sort of, I know people talk about emotional intelligence. I talk about vibes and things. And so if people are silent in front of me, I think, I think great. I don't have to listen to all the gobbledygook.
That's a beautiful word, gobbledygook.
It's your word. It's your word. It's an American word. It's not one of ours. I'm just giving it back to you there.
Gobbledygook.
Gobbledygook. Isn't it wonderful? It's
Gobbledygook.
It's a lovely word. It's up there with supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
But Tim, you are very emotionally intelligent. I mean, you played at the top for the whole game, and even you knew that I was hiding something from you from the day I walked in.
Oh, I knew.
You know.
How did you know that I knew that?
You told me.
Is that in the show? No, I tell you.
No, it's in the show as well. It's in the show as well. You go.
All right.
I knew he was hiding something from me. That's what you
said. I knew there's something, and I couldn't work out what it was because it was so beyond beyond all the possible things that I could imagine. So you were hiding your disability. So when you said I thought now everything fits together. I understand what this fellow is doing. And that was a different level of revelation to the level that Georgina had. It's quite strange, and at some point maybe we need to discuss how that sort of impacts the viewers, how it impacts the play and everything else, and how you felt. It was very emotional for you, wasn't it?
What happened? I only watched one episode. What happened?
Elaine's like, what are you guys talking about?
We have to get Paddy to explain this. Paddy, what did you do?
So essentially, my whole thing about going onto the circle was to see whether people would like me for me and not my disability. But then also what I said is people in society look at my disability as a weakness, and I'm going to use that as a strength. So in a certain point, I will drop it, and I'm gonna try win because of it. Because I think let's change the narrative of what it means to be disabled. And some people liked that, some people didn't, and I understand.
I seen where you had said that people use their beauty to their advantage. So I'm gonna use, and listen, I felt that because I think people do that, and you have to use what you got, right? So okay, I got you.
Then when I didn't have my disability, although it doesn't define me, it made me realize it is a really big part of me, and I kind of felt lost without it because I've obviously been born with it. It's part of my identity. So then when I felt like I was coming out of the closet when I did this massive chat telling people I was disabled, and I ended up getting very emotional about it, even though I knew this was my game plan. Like I got very emotional, like almost like I was crying, and I couldn't. Like my emotion about kind of how I felt about being disabled and my insecurities around it really came out, and I became really vulnerable. I became really vulnerable because I didn't think I had many insecurities around it anymore, and I really did. So
you became also a sort of super version of yourself at that point.
So that's what I did then, and that's what Tim's talking about. But it was a very emotional moment for me.
What was so fascinating was meeting you first time round. I always felt there was something missing, and it was all I really got from you, or all I was allowed to get from you, was a lot of banter. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, I don't understand where this is going. In fact, I had the same experience with Jan, by the way. And Jan was sort of all the interaction I had with Jan was all about banter. And I didn't really get the real person. When she came to see me after I blocked her, I would normally put this in the past. I would normally put this in the passage, but I would normally say after she was blocked, I would normally try and distance myself from the actual reality that I was the person who did it. But after she was blocked, she came to see me, and the moment she walked into the apartment, there was just a sort of physical bond.
She has a warmth.
She has such warmth, and for some reason that never came across in the circle. And it's so odd. You choose which parts of your personality you present when you write on social media.
Well, not only that though, is like even if you choose to share something, that doesn't mean that whoever you're sharing it with is going to take it the way you mean it.
Oh, absolutely.
And
if you particularly if you choose humor. I mean, it's like a death blow.
I know.
Because people just do not always get it.
Yeah.
You know,
But I think it was probably hard because I came in as a late player as well. So I was trying to find my footing at the beginning, because you don't want to come in and be like, "Hey, look at me!" Like kind of just trying to find your footing, and it was hard. Kind of, I didn't know what aspects of my personality I should put out there. It's a very different environment too. You can't really read people's mind, like eyes, body language.
Yep.
So I think that when I did that, I really came into my own when I brought my disability to the table. But before that, I was quite like I was a bit like one-dimensional before that.
Fish out of water.
Yeah.
Fish out of water.
Yeah.
Well, it's because, like you said before, though, that's who you've been since you was born. So to like switch it off and to be a little something different, it just didn't set right. So
it didn't set right now, but it was interesting. It really taught me that, you know, I always was like, God, I wish I didn't have it. I was like a part of me, and then I'm like, you know what? I should be happy that I have it because it makes me who I am. So it really taught me that, which is good. But have you seen that they have launched the civilian advert for the civilian circle?
Oh yes,
so
absolutely.
All the people that are going to be in it. All right, you can see it as well, Elaine, on the circle.
Okay, I'll have
Instagram,
to look at that
on the Instagram.
I'll send you a link.
Yeah.
So
Elaine,
when does the celebrity circle ends next week?
Tuesday. I
Tuesday.
think it ends Tuesday.
And the ordinary circle begins on Tuesday as well. So
it begins the
I don't know if we get a double.
Maybe it's Monday. Does it end Monday then, Tim?
Maybe it ends. So it's 6 episodes for celebrity, and I think we've got episode 5 tonight.
Yes, maybe it ends
episode 6
Monday.
tomorrow. So it ends, and then the season 3 starts immediately on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's going to be no rest for you, Paddy.
No. Oh my God.
You're going to be podcasting like a leprechaun.
I know.
Yeah, it's a
great Irish reference there, Tim.
Well, I'm trying. I'm Mother's Day. I'm trying to appeal to my birth.
Happy Mother's Day to everyone. By the way, are you a mom, Elaine? Yeah.
Well, I'm a stepmom.
You're a stepmom?
Yeah, my wife has 2 sons. And we just got married in September, so they're now officially my stepson.
Yes, I have a stepmom as well, so I know.
I rule with an iron fist, you know.
How old are they?
Trevor is 20. He'll be 21 in August, and Hunter is 15, and he'll be 16 in October.
Goodness. So they're still very young.
Yeah, but they're basically men. You know, I don't have to do anything. Yeah. But me and my wife are in the process of becoming foster parents.
Amazing.
And my wife is. I'm super nervous. I'm super nervous about it. My wife is a little iffy on it, only because she loves our life so much. She's afraid it may change drastically. But we're gonna give it a go.
It's a big commitment. It's a big commitment.
We're gonna give it a go and see if we can't, help some kids, help the youngins, And
I ask as well, Elaine, what is fostering in general? Is that you're taking on a kid for a certain amount of time? Sorry about my ignorance.
No. There's 2 different kinds. You have the kind of children that are up for adoption that you foster. And then if you choose to adopt, you can. And then you have kids that'll be replaced back into their own home. Just once the family gets things together or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you don't know what you're getting until you get the phone call.
Okay.
And they'll call and they'll say, we have, such and such child, and then you say yes or no on whether or not you agree to, accept the responsibility and take them in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot that I've been through in my life, and growing up as a kid, I had a pretty rough way to go. And I feel like I got enough in me. You know what I mean? I just feel like I can help and change somebody's life.
That hardship that you've gone through will really resonate with other people and help them, because you'll be able to see things differently.
Yeah, like I'm a jack of all trades when it comes to pain. You know what I mean? So it's like I've been through a little bit of everything, and I just think that with my big heart and the things that I've been through, I just think I can help and relate and change. Just make things better. And
that's amazing.
I want to try to do that. I don't know if it'll work.
And you're very practical as well, Elaine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm realistic. Like, it may not be a fit. I understand that, but I at least want to try and see if it it's a fit for us. I really think I'm gonna have like 30 kids.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's what I'm thinking is I'm gonna end up with like 30 kids. You know, we're getting ready to build a house. I'm gonna have to build rooms on. I think that's how it's gonna go. But I want to kind of stay in the middle because I don't want to get my hopes up and then you know it not work out. But
it can be hard. It can be hard to try and stay focused, not get hopes up. You know.
But listen, I've raised kids before, and like I said, I'm helping my wife raise hers. But I'm so nervous. Like I really am.
What are you nervous about?
Well, because I know they come from a struggle already, and I want it to be a super easy transition. I want it to be. I want to be whatever it is they need. Yeah. And not living up to their expectations is causing me anxiety, honestly. So it's like I'm nervous about it, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah, but all different emotions.
Yes, but I think once the little and whether it be a baby, a big and whatever walks in the door, I think I'm gonna be fine. It's just
I think you
up
will.
to it. Yeah.
I think when you're in the moment, you'll be fine. It's just all the overthinking before.
Yeah, it's kind of like this podcast. You know, me and Tim kind of just got thrown together, and I was like, "Oh my Jesus!" And then here we are, just making it happen. You know what I'm saying?
I need to watch your Survivor episode. I need to watch your Survivor season.
It's Survivor season 39. It was called Island of the Idols.
Jesus, season 39.
Yeah.
It goes on and on.
Yeah.
Paddy, I'm only at the beginning, and I'm not allowed to go forward. But Elaine and I may have another arrangement.
Yeah,
soon.
well, I've told Tim in the past. You know, my season was pretty controversy, and you know, I like you got hate after the season or whatever. But I was also America's favorite, so I didn't get as near as much as some other people. But it's a good season. It's you just got to watch it and form your own opinion about it. Like, I think it's a good season. And, you know, anything I do, I always take something away from it. So even though the public had a hard time with some of the things, like I learned things. And I think that's the only way we can move forward as a people is like we learn, we grow, and we become better because of it. And that's me. Like
I'm of the exact same mindset. I'm of the exact same mindset. I've changed completely in the last year and become a lot more, I suppose, calmer in myself. You know, I was so dead set to prove something, Like I wasn't thinking of anything else, just to prove a point.
Right.
You know, and now I've just kind of relaxed and taken a step back and taken everything in. And I also understand why I got hate. I mean, I understand it. I grow from it. And I'm a better person for it.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing about it is like if you can look at a situation and take whatever good there is out of it, then you will be better because of it. But if you choose to focus on the negative or the bad or whatever, then it's just going to drag you down. So I personally don't try to live my life like that. And
me neither.
Being on Survivor, the same experience, I learned a lot from it. I'm a better person because of it. And you never make the same mistakes twice. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's like I take it for what it's worth, man. I was blessed to be on it, and I get to do these cool, amazing things.
Yeah, we were all blessed. We were all blessed to be on a show. I mean, to be picked to be on a show for TV, I mean, that is something in itself. You know, like you don't get picked for these shows easily. You know, we all know ourselves.
Well, or you got to be a little crazy now. We debated that too. We was like, the psych tests are a little off because I don't think everybody's there, you know. And I'm one of them.
I was going to say, just bringing it back to the subject. Don't you find it so fascinating with this slight change in the way, certainly the celebrity version has gone, where everybody has got strategies, everybody has got alliances. Friendship is slightly out of the window. Popularity is a secondary consideration. There aren't really any villains now.
Yeah, because you're
not going to get the hate mail.
No. Because even the hashtag now is what will you lose to win?
Yes,
that's the hashtag.
I could never have done that because I simply didn't. Do you remember when we were asked what would we do with the money if we won?
Yeah.
I couldn't answer that question because I didn't think I would win, and they kept asking me and asking me.
Which I think is the craziest thing ever. He didn't think he was going to win. I mean, honestly, this lad ruled the circle from start to finish.
I thought I would be at the bottom of everybody's ranking every single time.
I don't believe this, Tim.
You
really?
You underestimate your fabulousness.
Well, look, you've got to remember, my name is Timothy, and I only use the first part of that name. It's a good Greek name, from the Irish, of course, but a good Greek name, and it comes from two Greek words. The first word, Timo, I fear, and the second word is God. I've ditched the second part. I just live in a permanent state of anxiety. So I live up to my name.
You have such a kind of spark and energy about you, and you ruled the whole show from start to finish. That's essentially why we built the
That's your downfall. That was your downfall. Yeah.
Well,
it was my
Paddy, if you'd approached me, I would have joined the circle of trust as well.
No, Tim, you're way too sure.
I would have got it terribly confused.
Yeah.
I would have thought circle of trust. Why are you speaking about trusses? But anyway, look, Paddy, you've got to answer another question for me, because here I'm going to expose my complete ignorance, and maybe Elaine, you know the answer to this.
Oh, I'm pretty ignorant. Go ahead.
Who is Peter Andre? Who is Peter Andre?
Let's see, I don't know who that is.
Oh, thank God, Elaine. Okay. This is why I love Elaine. Thank you. Thank you. Paddy, it's all over to you. Elaine, who is Peter Andre?
Elaine, you have to know the song "Mysterious Girl."
No, when they played it on the show,
you, my baby.
Well, I thought that was rather charming. Much better when you do it, Paddy.
Yeah.
Oh no, I sound like a bag of cats.
I'd never heard of them. But like I said, I don't hear a lot of stuff from the UK because of being over here in little old KY. Like,
did Mysterious Girl not become a hit? That was like an icon in 1993.
Not over here. Unless I'm wrong.
1983.
No, 1993. I wasn't even born in 83.
1993. What was I doing then? I think I was.
I was 15.
Fantastic.
I was teaching. I think
I was 15.
Were you?
Okay.
Yeah. So, no, I never heard of it.
Right.
Like Peter Andre would be kind of like, he was a heartthrob. He had like the six pack, like he was tanned, he was under a waterfall,
okay.
Like dancing,
so he's like,
body roll.
And so when I look at Charlotte, this is what I have to imagine.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I can do that. And Charlotte spends all her time talking about hair as well. I can imagine that. I can imagine her doing a shampoo advert. She does. Have you noticed this? Every time she has to talk, she talks about hair. Somebody's got some hair. Somebody's not got some hair, or whatever. In that first game.
Charlotte was on
Geordie Shore.
Is that our version of like Jersey
Shore? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, it's so hard for me to keep up because they're just people to me. Like I have no idea.
That's refreshing, though. That's refreshing.
It is. But like Peter and Sam, I think they're super.
I
funny.
love them.
I love them. I want to meet them. I think I'm going to try some sort of some naughtiness and write to them.
What were they
go with you, Tim?
What were
they again? They were on Made in Chelsea, which is like a reality show, like the Kardashians. So let's say.
So which one was Made in Chelsea? So Made in Chelsea is a slightly posh one, isn't it?
Yeah. So Sam is Made in Chelsea, and then Pete is The Only Way Is Essex, which is another kind of show like that.
Okay. I'm just gonna have to start watching all UK programs to learn.
We love reality TV. Like we love all that kind of stuff. Like,
oh yeah.
Put people in a certain area together, and we'll lap it up.
Dude, I need to come to the UK and get a TV program.
You can come and stay here. You're very, very welcome.
Yeah, because I live in
Ireland and party with me in Temple Bar.
Wait, okay. So how far apart are you guys? Like,
we're separate. We're separated by a sea.
Yeah,
I told you I'm not good with geography.
No, well, this is a water.
I'm a different country, Ireland.
Yeah, watery area, and now he's part of the European Union, and sadly, I'm not. Everything I did to try and make that not happen.
So, Tim, are you like north or south? Like,
I'm bang in the middle. I'm literally in the middle of England. I'm about as far as you can get from the sea in every direction.
And Paddy, which
I'm
way?
the
Which?
capital. So I'm here. Where would I be? Let me think.
You're
So
you're sort
here,
of
you're up
down
here.
south from me.
Or south?
Yeah, south.
South. Okay. I'm just better
This is
with
very
visual.
confusing.
But you have to jump over the Irish Sea, which is a tempestuous piece of water.
Okay.
But we're very close. I mean, it's going to be weird that we're going to be in the European Union and the UK aren't, because the UK and Ireland use each other a lot for everything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and my mother was born just down the street from him.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys are neighbors.
We are almost neighbours, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, now, and I do know about Neighbours. I used to be able to do the theme tune. So my sort of, you know, I don't feel quite so ignorant, but I must say this has stretched my. I was sitting there thinking, gosh, and a little bit of me was wondering, would I find myself on something like Celebrity Circle? Thank God I'm not, because I wouldn't have known anybody, and it would have been so embarrassing.
That would have been fun, Tim. That would have been great TV.
It would. It would have been awful.
Well, I can say that the best thing about the whole Celebrity Circle is that they're playing for Stand Up to Cancer.
Oh, absolutely.
Which
isn't that wonderful?
Yes,
Yeah.
which is absolutely amazing. So the fact that you can go and play a game and all proceeds go to that, I'd sign up every time, you know.
And the stories they put out throughout the show, I mean, they're harrowing.
God.
They are harrowing.
The stories are quite harrowing.
Yeah, and listen, I'm a big softie, so I may
know.
Or may not.
My whole bank account will be gone. The winnings of the circle will be gone back to cancer.
Yeah, I seriously, like, some of those stories, like it hit home. I've lost a lot of family members to cancer, and my best friend's 15-year-old son has cancer right now. He's going through it, and so it really hits. All that stuff really hits home with me, and I cried. When I watched some of them, I really did.
Well, I think everyone's been affected by it. I mean, 1 in 2 people. I didn't know that, but that's a crazy statistic that I didn't realize. 1 in 2 people.
But the other thing which is so disturbing, Paddy, is that because of the pandemic, a lot of cancer treatment and a lot of cancer diagnosis has been slightly put to one side, and you know, we're not going to know for some time how much damage that is doing.
That's crazy.
So I think it's right to be emphasizing this at this time.
Yeah, you're right.
That's absolutely insane.
Because all we're talking about is COVID. I remember that's kind of going to the wayside.
And so for that reason, I liked Duncan's exit. By the way,
you know, he's a great guy.
Oh my God,
lovely!
He's so genuine. He seems so genuine. And Tim, I think that was my room, because that was my pink sofa.
I thought that was my room.
Yes.
No, they couldn't have been your room and my room. I think we both think that he's so sweet. We've appropriated not only Duncan, but his entire environment, Paddy.
Yeah.
It's going to be gloves off at dawn now.
Dude, he was a really great guy. I enjoyed him. I was sad to see him go.
I think, and oh my God, he's beautiful. Like, absolutely beautiful. But I don't think he got enough time to come into his own.
Yeah.
No.
Well, him and Kim know him and Denise knowing each other.
Yeah.
I thought, well, this will be great, and then nope. I was like, dang, that would have been a strong alliance, because they for real knew each other, and like.
But this is the point, Elaine. They're only just as a game. As a show, this is only just discovering alliances and strategy. Paddy was really the first person to do this.
Yeah.
Paddy, James, and Georgina.
I'm sorry, Tim. I've changed the circle for you. You'd never go back in.
Completely. There is no going back now. But what I worry about is that it's been moved on, but at the expense of developing character. So I'm interested to see what happens in series 3, because if I didn't know who these people were, and I don't, there's no character development at all, and I'm sort of lost. I literally have to have a piece of paper next to me with all the names on them.
You know what? I'll put my hands up, and you are right in that sense. And like, when we did that, we weren't thinking that this is going to change the game. We were doing it to try and survive. So You know, I do understand, and even the way like they've brought the triangle into this celebrity one, that's very like
my triangle. My triangle.
Yeah.
You
So,
should have. What's that called? You
Yeah, I should be getting revenue. I should be getting remuneration. Royalties.
Royalties.
Royalties. Yeah.
Royalties.
I mean, triangular. It's trigonometry, isn't it? It's my trigonometry. My yeah.
Well,
My
that's what
mathematics.
happens, though. That's what happens. The progression of the game. Like, if it hadn't happened on your guys' season, it would have happened in the next few because that's the natural progression of games like these.
But you see, if I'm completely honest, which is a horrible expression, sorry. But
I know you're lying now. You done said it.
Yeah. There's pros and cons to both because it is a game in a sense, and you are on your own, and the whole concept is the whole experiment is how quickly you can be deceived, how quickly you can deceive others, how quickly you can form bonds online. I think because we're living in it, it kind of scares us how quickly this can all happen to us.
But if you don't put down the friendships first, you can't rely on those bonds.
Exactly.
And that's the mistake that all of these people are making, by the way.
Yeah.
So, but even when you're doing the friendships, for me anyway, you're not even knowing if that friendship is real because you don't know. Like you can't kind of see them. You don't know if they're real. So, I think I'd love if like Tim is so right. There has to be a bit more character development and not such strategy. But also, I do think there has to be a bit of strategy because it's not Big Brother and it's not. It's more of a game. Do you know what I mean? And an experiment. So it needs to be a bit of both. And I think maybe they've gone too far then one way than the other.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, they're clearly being encouraged with lines about what's your alliance or something.
Yeah.
You get, but there are still some interesting character moments. But they're mostly comedy moments, like the fingering pies, which
that was funny.
It was so naughty, so naughty. But then it was slightly ruined. I mean, you know, if you're going to come out with a line about fingering pies, you at least have to keep a straight face after doing all your fingering. Course. So it's up to the audience to draw their conclusions about which pies you're fingering.
It was like when you were doing Tim, and you were calling out Katie. You were like, she's looking at her book now. She's panicking, looking at her book. When you were calling out Katie.
Well, I was disgraceful during that, but that was quite different because I suddenly had this vision that I knew at that moment. I'd known for a few days who she was. Okay, so this was the fact, and I think production, the voice of God, was getting really irritated with me. They were saying, "How do you know? How do you know? You have to explain." I think, well, just know. Oh, for God's sake, I'm a professor. And
Meg.
No. Well, this is exactly the point. They think that the word professor means that I'm logical. I'm not remote. You know, I'm not logical. I wouldn't recognize logic if it was written in front of me. I draw the conclusion, and then I look desperate to find some evidence to support it. Right. That is my sort of academic position, and that was my position on the circle. So the problem with Katie is they suddenly gave me this opportunity to have a chat with her. With Jay, sorry. Suddenly had an opportunity to have a chat with Jay. And halfway through that conversation, I suddenly got a fit of the giggles because I thought there's only one way they can edit this, and they're going to be cross-editing between what I'm saying she's looking in her book and her looking in her book. And I'm told this is exactly what they did. And I could see it. Now, the other day, fascinatingly, there's another scene where I was having a conversation with Woody, because I promised James I wouldn't say anything about the chat we'd had in the instigator room, influencer room, effluencer room. Anyway, right.
Instigating room.
And
not right.
It's one of those things I don't like. I can't get words right if I don't like the concept. So it'll come out as anything. And so I promised I wouldn't say anything, and then I thought, well, I've made that promise. So I can't say anything, but I can sort of try. If Woody is sensitive enough, he will pick this up.
Yeah.
And so I had this conversation. I suddenly thought, oh, he's sending me these things back. Now he's looking at the original message. He's got it.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I knew how this was edited again. Okay. And the other day, somebody sent me a little clip, which was that scene. And it's the first time I've seen it. And I thought, oh my God, this is so frustrating because it was editing exactly almost to the almost to the sort of to the line that I expected.
Right.
But instead of doing a close-up shot of Woody saying, "Oh my arms coming up in goosebumps," they'd done a long shot. And I thought, this is extraordinary because in my mind, I was already seeing that shot.
But Tim, does that not show you how kind of on the ball you are?
Yes.
With that, that's
your
insane.
intuition is so spot on.
Only because I'd spent I'd spent so much of my life being a director and a designer and being involved in animation. And with animation, you're looking at every 24th or 25th of a second. You're analyzing people's movements. And when I look at people, if I draw you, Paddy, as I did,
you did.
I look into your eyes and I think there's something peculiar here.
Which you did say.
I did. And
you called it. You called it.
Well, the thing is, peculiar can be a good thing as well. Did you mean
quirky
or did you mean weird?
I don't know. You see, I can't say that. I just knew that wasn't quite you. That photograph of you was not quite you. And the same thing with James and with Woody. I knew that was him. Yeah. Absolutely. First time I saw it with Jan, I knew it was her. And then the conversations I was having were not quite the same Jan. Yeah. So that was odd. That was a sort of peculiarity.
That shows you know the way you said you're not analytical. You are analytical in a sense.
Yeah, but after I've made my decision.
Dude, I need you to go on Survivor with me, Tim, because
I'd love to go on Survivor with you.
All those traits would win you $1 million.
Yeah,
you gotta be able to read people really well.
Believe me, it would be in a 3-piece suit with a hat.
They take it.
There'll be no shorts in my Survivor history.
You don't wear shorts, Tim?
I do not. Oh, at some point, they contacted my partner and they said you've got to send him some shorts and things because it's so hot in the apartments. And the runners came in with somebody to inspect that there wasn't anything in these things. And my partner sent me a pile of shorts and things. I took one look and said, there's no point in bringing these in here. I'm never going to wear them. I wouldn't wear them at home. I'm not going to wear them here on television. Take them away. Take them away.
Your style is your thing. You know,
yeah. Tim's got the widest legs in the UK right now. I
know. The one person we haven't spoken about because theoretically we're supposed to be talking about the circle and the celebrity circle. And the one person we haven't really spoken about is Big Nasty. Because I have a secret life as a rapper, so I ought to take an interest in this.
Tim,
no, really, I really do. I did a thing on Fubar Radio, and I met some rappers, and I did it with Brooke, and she was very sweet, and she said, "You don't know anything about rapping," and I said, "Well, it's true, I don't," and I because the only rapping I know is in other languages. I know about rapping in Russia, and I've worked with a rapper in Russia, and I've written lyrics, and we've discussed sort of the contents of how can you rap, because Russian rap is fascinating because it's so deep. So it really is. RAP is an acronym. It stands for Rhythm and Poetry.
Yeah.
RAP.
Okay. Yeah.
And they really do poetry, and they do deep poetry. So they will rap a sort of historical facts about St. Petersburg and a battle on the ice with horses charging against ships on the ice. And at the same time, they'll throw in some extremely rude Russian words. And Russian has probably one of the most one of the bluest vocabularies in the world. It can be very, very naughty, but they'll put all these things together, plus some religious language, and just rap it all out at great speed. And I was involved in.
Wow.
So if there's a fellow called Oxymoron, which is a Moscow pronunciation. So if you take away the Moscow pronunciation, it's Oxymoron, which of course is a bit of a pun, and he's got 3 X's, which is great fun, and he does a lot of rap battles and stuff. And we worked together a little bit on his first on his first.
That's a Tim. You
LP.
need to. You always surprise me. Just keep surprising me.
And so if you look him up, I'm on the record sleeve. It's a lot of Cyrillic, and then suddenly there's my name there, and you think, oh,
that's crazy, yo.
But he's a great rapper, and he introduced me to many of the ideas. Rap is a serious art form. You know, it's the art form really for our day, and although I love the American musical, I'm afraid rap is probably where we are now. So Hamilton is bang on.
Wow. Well, Tim, I've also realized you already have your rapper name, Professor Tim.
Yeah, that's you do.
Yeah, but I'm not going to rap because. But do you realize I stammer? I have a dreadful stammer. I do all this. You just think it's an affectation because I want to sound like Prince Charles.
You can write that in. Write it in. Put that stammer in there. Write it in. Add it to your show.
The other problem I've got is that I keep saying
Yeah.
And at the moment I do quite a lot of news broadcasts for Turkish television. And they seem to quite like me. I'm very happy to do it. The problem is that is terribly rude in Turkish.
Is this?
Yeah.
You're gonna get smacked.
I can't possibly tell you what it is, but it is it is anatomical, and I don't have one. Sorry.
We went down a rabbit hole about Tim being a rapper when we was talking about Big Nasty. So
if you can imagine that there I am pontificating about Piers Morgan and Meghan Markle, and it's just diabolical, really, and I've got to try and get over that somehow. So I think the more I do, the better I'm going to get. Then maybe I can get to the point where I can rap.
You will. You get into your stride. But going back to the circle.
Go on. Because we're going to have to wrap up any second. So.
Yeah. So Big Nasty. Paddy. Like I do like her, Lady LeSure, but I do think she's kind of shot herself in the foot with how hard she went for Saffron. How like she just wouldn't change her mind, and I think she'll be out next because of it.
Well,
I'm sure she'll be out next. Yeah,
I think people were already on to Big Nasty for getting the fish question wrong. You guys remember that when he's like, "Oh, I'm not afraid of fish," and it was him. Like, and so from that moment forward, I think he was on thin ice as it was. And then when they went into that vote, and he just refused to change, and it's like people started getting aggravated and annoyed. I think he's in deep trouble.
Yeah. Also, if it was me in there, I wouldn't believe will.i.am would go on the show. No shame.
Me neither.
But I think he's too big. Do you get me? I'm like, I wouldn't believe that he'd go on the show.
But Saffron had all these sort of grand ideas about who she was going to meet on the show, didn't she?
Yeah. Well, she's a YouTuber, like a proper influencer. And she seems lovely, absolutely lovely.
Doesn't she seem lovely? I'd like to reach out to her. I think she could become one of our friends.
Yeah, she seems absolutely lovely. I have to say the casting is amazing this year for the celebrity.
But I just wish I knew more people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I suppose there are a certain type of people. I mean, you know,
they are a particular type. It's almost as if it's all been cast by one person.
Yeah, so. I'd say probably some celebrities don't want to do the show, so it's probably hard to get.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure Julie Andrews is literally straining at the leash, saying, "Oh, let me on, let me on." And Angela Merkel. Oh yes, absolutely. You could have Julie Andrews in one room, Angela Merkel in another room. I'm sure she could get a week off from the German government. They'd be delighted, I'm sure.
Imagine we got Prince Harry and Meghan. That would be unreal.
Or just the Queen. You could get the Queen herself.
No. I think that's going too far. You know. Anyway, you'd know the Queen because you'd hear all the corgis yapping.
Yeah. Well, I do think that I wouldn't believe it's will.i.am. So I think I don't know.
Right.
I think those two are unreal as well. They're such cool guys, Ricky and Melvin.
I don't think they're as good as Pete and Sam.
No,
they're not.
Pete and Sam you can see that they are best friends.
They have a
energy.
chemistry together, which is gorgeous to watch.
Yeah.
And they have a it's almost better than the Loose Women chemistry.
Yeah,
because it's so televisual. It's so real.
Yeah,
they're
they're
so
hilarious.
They're so different. Like
Yeah.
like Sam kind of brings
Off the
Pete
walls.
up, and then Pete brings him down sometimes.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
a really good balance.
Yeah,
they
that's
all-
kind of like me and Tim. It's kind of like me and Tim. He's off the walls, and I'm grounded.
Oh,
It's
you're
the
off
same
the walls, Elaine. You're off the
Oh.
walls. You're off the.
Now
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if I have any other notes.
Yeah, anything you want to
Well, I actually took notes, Tim, but I can't read
Okay.
my writing. So
Oh,
it's
don't you
like-
find? Didn't you find it really irritating? With Nasty, with Lady LaSure, when production changed the rules. Now, I think this idea about demanding unanimity for a vote. I think we're going to see it again. I think this is one of the innovations. And I think it is probably one of the most stupid innovations that I can possibly imagine. Now I know, having seen that, why the Vatican does not broadcast the election of a pope, why the Vatican doesn't let us into the conclave, because it is boring as hell to see people voting the same way 3 or 4 times. If I've got one criticism of this series,
I found it quite good. I was like, "Oh, is she going to change this?" I did not see like it.
Now, in Survivor, in
Survivor, she didn't. She
She
didn't. And now maybe they could have let it go. This is a Survivor problem, isn't it, Elaine?
Yeah, I was just saying.
Yeah.
In Survivor, when the votes tied, the people who were being voted for now become safe, and everybody else that was voting. Now, see, I think they should adopt that principle, and that
I don't think they're going to.
That would solve that problem of people.
I'm actually going to turn on the light. It's got very dark in my place. One sec.
It's got nighttime. What time is it over there?
What time is it? Like it's nearly 6. 20 past 6 now.
We're going to stop in about 5 minutes, I think. But I've got 2 more questions, and I've got one here which says elephant in the room.
Do you remember
what do we need to talk about?
Again?
Oh yes, no. I've got such an important question. Right, okay. Now and back to bag of chips. And it's a lip question.
Oh,
Okay.
injections.
Oh, his lip.
Injections or filler?
Injection.
Well,
Well, it could be both. It could be both.
It's terribly intimate, isn't it? But it's so noticeable, and she's so it's really part of her identity. This is the thing, isn't it?
I think she looks great. I love.
Would you do it?
Hell no.
No, well, you wouldn't notice any difference here. I mean, everything is hidden under this hair.
I got thin lips too, but no, it's all about how you feel. And I wouldn't feel comfortable doing anything like that. But as far as
I've got Botox, so I'm.
Do you really? Is it painful?
A bit, yeah. I got Botox.
Oh, Paddy.
My wife does.
Look, it's done me a glow up. I've glowed up. No wrinkles.
Glowed up as opposed to blown up.
Yeah, right.
So look, I've no wrinkles.
I think I'm beginning to get wrinkles, which is extraordinary.
Botox will save you, Tim.
When I was about 20, I wanted white hair. I wanted to look like the glamorous fellow in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And now I've suddenly started to get white hair. I think no, it's too soon. It's too soon. Be careful what you wish for.
You work it well, Tim.
You do.
You really do. But
I really hope Baga comes into her own.
I think she's got a huge amount to offer. And
I just want to hang out with her. I think she's freaking hilarious. I love her.
So who do you think is going to go tonight? Who do you think is going to go tonight? Because there's going to be, I think there's a double blocking tonight.
Oh, there's double blocking,
I think
isn't
Big
there?
Nasty is going.
Big Nasty is definitely on the way out, unfortunately.
Sure.
And
Big Nasty on the way out? Or Big
and I'm afraid I think it might be. Yeah, it might be Big Nasty and Charlotte.
Peter Andre, do you think?
I don't know. I if I was them, I'd go for Will.i.am because, like you said, Patty, like I just
no, Will.i.am is doing something. No, look, one of the reasons we haven't really spoken about Will.i.am very much is because Will.i.am is doing something rather clever.
Yeah.
And he's coming in under the radar.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that is a way. I mean, in some ways, Paddy, you did a bit of that.
I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
very well.
It's a way to win.
I went under the radar, and that's how I won, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right there. Will.i.am is very much going under the radar. Like, he's there, but he's not making too much of a ruckus that people are getting annoyed. You know?
Actually, we haven't had any influencer room stuff yet, have we?
Yeah, we had Saffron and Big Nasty, and they got rid of Duncan.
But they didn't actually go into the influencer room, did they?
Did
they?
Did.
Well, I don't think they spent a lot of time there.
I think I must have had an elderly moment there. I don't remember that at all. I do like Emma's new room, by the way.
Love it.
And I like the fact that she's now integrated into the show, because that's what should have happened long ago, really. I mean, that's the way it should be working.
That's very Big Brother-esque, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen Big Brother, so this means I don't need to now.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of similarities between the two, but
same host, I believe. So.
Well, over here, no, I was just saying.
Oh no, over with us, yeah. We're so insular. Really, all we think about is our own little island. You know, our own little island, his own little island. And your big continent.
I didn't get to ask you, but did you watch the American Circle?
Yeah, I did.
What did you think of it?
I liked it. It was something different, because when it first came out, I had never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And it was really different, and it was so interesting how, like, people communicated. And then, like I said before, when someone would say something genuinely about themselves, and they're like, "Oh, they're gonna love it. Oh, they're gonna think I'm this," and then the other person would be like, "Well, I don't really like that." And it was so, like, amazing to me how, like, one little thing or one little typo, whatever, just threw it all off. So I actually enjoyed it.
Well, we've got a problem with Peter and Sam because they've got problems with their pronouns.
Yeah, they keep saying "us." They keep saying "us."
They do keep saying "us." Yep, we. Yep. They're going to get into get into such a mess. But that's fine. Now, look, after 3, who did we think collectively was the star of the American show? Should we do it after 3?
Shuby.
Do you agree?
Shuby, yeah, he was very.
Yeah,
I loved Sammy as well, I have to say.
Oh yeah, she was cool. And I like
Alex?
Joey, he won.
And
Alex,
and Chris, of course. Chris.
Alex was quirky. Chris was one of my favorites.
He's great.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I loved Chris. I think we're going to be speaking to Chris next, actually.
In a couple days.
I don't know why but Shuby, he has the kind of essence of you about him. I could tell. Like, I'd say YouTube. Like, when I was watching the American one, I was like, he's very Tim-esque.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give him a few years and a beard.
Yeah.
No, I like him enormously.
Yeah, I think that like Chris was a huge personality. Shuby was such a genuinely, like, good guy.
Yeah.
So he stood out because he was so caring.
Kind of like, he was so sheltered from social media.
Yeah. He hated it.
It's kind of like Tim. Tim had no idea about social media, and you kind of see them grow.
Well, I still don't know much.
Yeah.
I
think that for an audience, we kind of go on the journey with them a bit.
Yeah.
It's nice. Like, and he is, and he's also really, really intelligent.
Yeah.
He's way smarter than I ever thought about being. Yeah, that boy, he's smarter than a tack in there.
Well, I hope we're going to speak to Shuby as well.
Yeah,
in the next.
Yeah,
week or so.
Shuby's going to be on the 21st.
Brilliant.
Can I ask you, on 3, who do you think is going to win the Celebrity Circle? Will we do it? So I think it's going to be
Rachel
Denise. I think it's going to be Denise.
I think Denise is a very, very strong contender.
But
I would like it to be Rachel.
I would be Rachel
Peter and Sam.
I think Denise is a strong contender, but I think that the fact that she's so straightforward and like comes at people,
she won't be liked for that.
She might get herself in a little bit of trouble. So if she can pull back some of her honesty a little bit, and not be so honest.
I think we also need to scotch this idea that in order to win, you really need to be a man pretending to be a woman. I think I'm predicting that the next series of the Circle, the next civilian series of the Circle, will be won by a woman pretending to be a man.
What did we have? We had a man pretending to be a woman. Then we had a late player that came in, and yourself.
Yes.
And we had, and then next. Yeah, so maybe it could be.
Yeah. I think so.
It'll be interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. So, right, we're going to stop there. Paddy, it's been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, it was super nice meeting you.
Super. And honestly, keep doing what you're doing, Elaine. You're doing some great work, and hope the fostering goes well.
I appreciate that. And like I tell Tim all the time, like, even though we're from different sides of the pond, you can holler anytime. This old redneck will always be here. So
and give my best to Seamus as well, and because you've got to do another podcast this evening, Paddy. So you really
we got you warmed up though. We warmed you up. You ready?
Yeah, there you go. And Tim, always big love to you, and
and you.
Yeah. So keep safe, and we'll see each other again soon.
Very soon, I hope. Let's keep in touch. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye guys.